Hey guys, what's up? It's Natasha and welcome back to this week's video. I am quite excited for this video. I'm doing the Intimidating TBR Tag. No one tagged me, but I've seen a lot of people on YouTube doing it and I thought maybe I should give it a go as I am currently trying to read all the books on my physical TBR. So before we get started, please remember to like the video, subscribe, comment down below if there are any intimidating books on your TBR, and without any further ado, let's just jump right into the video. So the first question is a book on your TBR pile that you haven't finished. And that would be Lindsay Clerk's I Heart Paris. It's not that I don't want to read this book, it is just that it is I'm never in the correct headspace to read this. But this is about a girl who has this like rock star boyfriend and he travels to Paris without her, obviously, and she decides to follow him and finds him in the arms of another girl, even though he promises that she's the only one for him. I don't know, it's a whole thing. I got halfway and then I DNF'd this book and I don't know if I want to continue and if I just want to hard DNF it and move on solid, you know, because it's only taking up space, collecting dust, and I don't think I'm interested in seeing what is going to happen in this book. The next question is a book that you haven't had time to read, and I think mainly I'm just not making the time or I can't find the time because I have a lot of other books I also want to read, but that would be Nevermore by, what's her name? Jessica Townsend. I've heard great things about this middle grade book. This is about a girl who's destined to die on her 11th birthday, and on the eve of her 11th birthday someone just pops up and they're like, come with me and we'll teach you magic and tricks and whatnot and all that. Great explanation. But anyway, so you follow her on this journey as she discovers how magic works and how she can save herself, and I've heard really great things about the series. It's just I don't get time. I don't have time. I don't make time. The next question is a book that you haven't read because it's a sequel, and that would be Claudia Gray's, I think it's the Firebird trilogy, because it's 1,000 Pieces of You, 10,000 Skies Above You, and then there's 1,000,000 something. And I have the first two books. I just don't have the third book and I can't find the third book anyway. This is about a girl's father who discovers time travel and how she travels through the pockets of time to find her father to fix something. I can't remember what exactly happened. I think I read the first chapter of this book and I was like, meh, I'm not really in the mood for this. So, and the fact that it's not just a sequel but it's a whole series and I only have the first two books. So yeah, that is what's bringing me down with this book. I really want to read it. I just want the third book first. The fourth question is a book that you haven't read because it's new, and I would mostly say it's new on my TBR shelf, or newish. I had it for a while now, but I still haven't picked it up, and that is Between the Blade and the Heart by Amanda Hocking. I've spoken a lot about this, but this is just basically about a girl who's a trained Valkyrie and she is being hunted down by someone else who believes she killed, or she had a hand in killing his mother, and it's a whole angsty kind of thing. It's a duology, and I haven't had time. It's new, I haven't had time. All of these is just I haven't had time to read them. So the fifth question is a book on your TBR pile from an author that you read previously but did not like, and that would be Jodi Picoult's Change of Heart. I read her Jacob's Room and I have a whole vlog there or video where I explain why I don't like Jacob's Room, mainly because of the fact that I'm not a mother and I could not relate to what was happening in the books. But with Change of Heart, this is basically about a mother who needs to decide, should she give her child the heart of a serial killer who is responsible for murdering, I think, her whole family except her child and her, and this serial killer is the only match. I think that is what the premise is about, or it could be that he's just a serial killer who murdered a family and she now has to choose because her daughter needs a heart transplant and she's struggling with the thing about should her daughter have the heart of a serial killer. And I think it's a very deep and heavy book to read, and that wasn't necessary. And yeah, I just don't know if I'm really in the correct headspace to read this book right now. The sixth question is a book on your TBR pile that you're just not in the mood to read, and that would be Allegiant by Veronica Roth. It is right here. I read Divergent, liked it. It was a 5-star. Then I read, what's the other one? It's like right there. Then I read Insurgent and it just didn't do it for me. So, and I've seen a lot of people saying that this book, that Veronica Roth just took a whole turn when it came to the series and it did not end the way they all expected to. So I'm very like, I don't know if I want to read it. And every time I look at this book, I'm never in the mood to read it. I'm like, we can read it at another time, but right now is not the time. So yeah, when this is going to get read, I don't know. Soon, hopefully in the next year. The 7th question is a book that you haven't read yet because it's enormous, and that would be A Court of Silver Flames. This is a reread for me, and it's also on my 23 books for 2023. Need I say more? It's a big book. I know what's happening and I really want to read this book. It's huge. And can I just also say I'm very upset that this cover doesn't match the other paperbacks that I have. But it's fine. I'm over it. It's a big book. The second last question is a book on your TBR that you bought mainly because of the cover, and that would be Kelly Armstrong's Rituals. Basically, I bought it because it's Kelly Armstrong, and you can never find her books anywhere in South Africa. And secondly, the cat eyes just, I mean, look at that. It's scary. It's creepy, it's eerie, and it caught my attention. I was like, ooh, what's this about? Little did I know it's part of a series. Like you get. So I'm quite upset. And my work colleague has the other one, and I'm just like, maybe we should swap, you know, when we're done with the books. But yeah, I don't know what this book is about. Like I say, it's about a series, so I can't dive much into it. And finally, the last question is a book on your TBR that you find most intimidating. Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. I read up until page 77. I thought it was 177. No, I got up until here. And I don't know how I feel about this book. Like, I really want to read this and I want to watch the series, but it's written in memoir style, and I thought it was going to be a lot like Game of Thrones. So I was quite upset when I started reading this book, and it didn't give me that great feel of the storytelling. This was mainly just spewing facts, and yeah, I soft DNF'd it about 2 years ago and I never picked it up again. And I really want to, because I really want to watch the show. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. So that is going to be it for this video. If you guys liked it, please remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in a video next week. Bye.